truly mattered, and we hadn't had a clue. We fell in to play the game, nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter, there were times when there was joy, but they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. This is your chance to understand. We did not design this plan that was built for you. There's nothing you can do. This is my warning. This is your sign that you can't go running high. We will fight for you. You know it to be true. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. From the scars we made. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. Welcome to
And welcome everyone to Nerd TV for another RSR Next Generation Cup Series race. This time coming at you from the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway on the iRacing platform for race number 2 of the 2024 season. for the RSR Next Gen Cup Series. This race is the VRTL Alliance 135, 90 laps here this evening. Weather on the left-hand side of your screen right now, 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 45% humidity, partly cloudy, and again, no wind, which I do believe they run a fixed weather. So for the most part, weather is not a true variable here this evening. And then my name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty on the socials. And then to my right hand side, Mr. Jason Rockefeller. How are you this evening, man?
Doing good, buddy. I am ready to see these guys here at RSR take on the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We've already seen some great action this week and last week. We just called the Global Racing League Truck Series on Sunday night. I had the privilege of calling the FTSR Mach 1 Performance Cup Series here just last night. That was a great race, won by Wayne Grossi. Great driver, great guy, obviously. I'm really looking forward to tonight and seeing what these guys are going to be able to do here with RSR. Last year, it was pretty competitive. Nate Campbell was able to take the win over his teammate Ryan Bean. And remember, Nate Campbell won just 1 week ago at Daytona, so he's looking to go back-to-back, and he's also the defending champion of this race. So, I mean, if you're Nate Campbell, you're feeling really good about going into tonight. But this track, for a super speedway, Jeremy, you got to race it totally differently than what you would at Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah, Nate Campbell did not post the fastest practice time, 2/10 off the fastest person, and then in qualifying here, we're gonna see what he does on the second lap. But yeah, he won here last year. He won last week, and so he's got the momentum on his side from multiple angles, right? So he's got to be one of your clear favorite picks to win this thing. He's rocking some new colors there with that Kill Tony Toyota Camry. I'm digging that paint scheme and sponsor combo, which is a huge podcast platform everywhere you can find. But yeah, no, this is a short race too. 90 laps. It's only 135 miles. Probably one of the shortest distance scheduled of the whole entire year. So it's going to be real quick. You got to find your partner quick, and you got to make some moves to get to the front. These next gen cars, they produce a huge bubble when the draft, and so you can't spend much time trying to figure things out. You got to move to the front in a hurry. And this should pose some awesome racing here this evening. To my left-hand side, Mr. Dustin Loxton, our producer, camera guy, and our voices in our ear, correcting all of our mistakes every single Sunday and Tuesday. Dustin, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Got to give a shout out to Doyle Lawrence, our loyal, official, unofficial.
Doyle.
Yep, pit reporter there. Says, "What's up, Jeremy and Jason? Let's rock this biatch." It's what it's supposed to say, but it has a bunch of other things. It said, "What's up, Dustin? Ready to sit here and rock out Atlanta here. Should be a good one." I mean, this track poses a very unique challenge to a lot of these drivers. You know, you got the restrictor plates on there, so you got the pack racing like you do a Daytona or Talladega, but it poses a much smaller package in a 1.5 mile configuration, and we all know that quad oval. That is, I'm gonna call that the coffin quad oval. That's what it is, because when you go in there side by side, very minimal banking. I mean, and nearly flat. That wall on that outside, we talked about it last week. You guys touched base on it. You try to peek your nose out there going through that quad oval, and that wall comes up in a hurry. So, you know, drivers got to be aware, especially coming to that start finish line, coming off turn 4.
And if you listen to the Denny Hamlin podcast, Sections Instrumental, he mentions a lot about turn 4 and how 99 there of Daniel Suarez was able to eke out that 3-wide win on Sunday in the real life race. That it has a huge downhill ramp coming off turn 4 to the start finish line. It is almost a continual downhill run, and so you get a huge boost of momentum. So if you can combine that with some side draft off the right door panel of somebody, you have a great shot. And you see a lot of people do utilize that upper half of the track on the long runs because tire wear is kind of a thing. Not so much in the next gen per se, but with the long run, you're going to have a loose handling car, and then you can produce some great runs on the top. So that will definitely be utilized this evening. And you called it the coffin tri-oval. I mean, we saw it in the real life and on Sunday for the Global Racing Truck Series. It had two vehicles, one come up, one come down, coming through one of the dogleg kinks. And you just come together naturally. That's just how the track is producing racing. And so that's definitely something to watch out here for this evening. But I think it is time, though. Looks like cars are getting ready on the grid. So we're going to turn our cameras off, head over to the track here and go over tonight's starting order for the VRTL Alliance 135. And looks like Brock Potter in the number 4 is going to take P1 here this evening. Second place will be the 51 is Zach Wilson. Third place, Bob Fitzpatrick. Fourth place, Ryan Bean. Fifth place on the third row is Kane Lee. The number 38 James Catrone in 6th. Brandon Gagnon at 83 will start in 7th. 72 of Kyle Gretsch will be in 8th. 9th place will be Zach Schrenthal. In 10th place, 31, Jeff Chandler.
Top 20 tonight, Michael Carter in the number 8 machine will start in 11th alongside Kevin Zabaldil, who was up at the front. Came home 9th just 1 week ago at Daytona. He'll start in the 12th position. Row number 7, Adam Boughton in the 10 machine. And Nolan Potter in the 34. Row number 8, Kevin Ruff finished runner-up last week, trying to finish one spot better. Matt Hayden in the number 5 machine will start alongside him. Row number 9, last week's winner and also defending race champion last year, Nate Campbell in the 45 from Stealth Motorsports, alongside John Vlasidy in the 15 machine. And then row number 10, top 20, Jeremy, Alexander Hodge in the 11 machine, and Stephen Rasek in the 21.
Then to round out the rest of the field, 21st, Anthony Younes, 22nd, Harold Watkins, 23rd place, Michael Sheffield, 24th, you'll find Steve Potter, 25th, Tony Ludi, 26th, Jerry Culver. Welcome to the start of the series here, Jerry, for 2024. 27th will be Mark Thibodeau, 28th, Andrew Little, 29th, it's all scrambled on my end here. I got Dwayne Furtick, 30th, I got Robert Fitzpatrick Sr., 31st, James Fitzmaurice, 32nd, Richard Gonzalez, 33rd, Kent Mueller, and 34th, Richie Coy making his series debut for the 2024 season as well. And then Brian Fine on my end is scheduled last, 35th. That's going to be 7 cars without posting a lap time in queue. The top 28 did so. And so we're going to go 1 lap of pacing here. And then 90 laps. Short race, Jason, to settle this thing out.
Yeah, short race for sure. These guys are going to have their teeth cut out for them here tonight. Gloves are going to be off every single lap. And Jeremy, we're turning laps 30 seconds is what a lap time looks like in the pack here in Atlanta. So you do the math, obviously, divide that 90, by those 30 seconds. I mean, you're going to be completing this race in pretty much under an hour if this race were to go green all the way to the end here. Or rather, not all the way for under an hour, but just a little over an hour. So it's going to be really short race. You're going to have to obviously make your way up to the front very, very quickly if you're one of these drivers. I expect some great racing from these RSR guys here tonight. We saw a great race last week. A lot of drama, a lot of controversy. I'm expecting the same thing here tonight for sure.
Last year, RSR was a blast to watch, and so I expect nothing different here this evening. 35 cars, big pack here. Got Michelle Rittenberry on the Facebook side saying, hey, y'all, let's go Cabin Lee Ruff, his weekly cheerleader. And then Doyle Lawrence, of course, cheering on his partner, Jeff Chandler. But here we are. Pace truck is down. 90 laps are looming here around this 1.54 mile mini super speedway. And here we are. Green flag is out. And the 4, Brock Potter, does not get the start he wants. Checks up the inside. And look at this 51, though. Zach Wilson jumps out almost a whole entire car length. Thought about jumping down. Could not do it. Brock's going to quickly regain that lead there coming off turn 2. He's got the number game all buttoned up right behind him, so he gets a good momentum shift here, but watch out for this top lane here. In the next lap, they might get that momentum built and get that 51 back to the front.
Yeah, definitely a great point, Jeremy. Usually we've seen all week long, with this Atlanta package for these Cup Series cars, is that the inside lane really gets rolling, but give it the top lane just a few laps, and they're going to be right there in contention. That's what I saw in yesterday's Mach 1 Performance Cup Series for FTSR. I assume it's going to be the same right here. You see that 51 of Zach Wilson trying to make this outside lane get going. He's got help from James Catrone right on the bottom, but it's all Brock Potter out front. He's leading 5, almost 6 cars, and Brandon Gagnon going to jump up to the top lane right in front of Zach Wilson to lead the brigade up at the top of the field this time.
Here we are, 4 leading the first and second lap here. 4 cars single file on the bottom, and then the 2x2x2 follows suit the rest of the way through the field until you get to about 20th place. And right now, early on, this inside will probably be the strong point. It's where that long run happens, is where you're going to decide where that top or bottom is going to be the way to be. Right now, inside clearly doing the work there. A little slip and slide action from the top as Brandon does not lead the outside that time, coming through turns 3 and 4, which is going to put him 3 wide. They quickly shuffle the 91 out of that top groove, 3 wide. Look at him going freight training back quickly to 10th, maybe to 15th.
Yeah, that's Kane Lee in that number 91 machine, shuffled all the way out from 4th in lane on the bottom. Now he's going all the way to the back of this train here up on the outside lane. He's got a couple of cars right behind him, but he'll tuck back in line. I believe that's the 72 of Kyle Gretsch going through the tri-oval this time by Jeremy. Already 5 laps up on the board right now. Next time around, 85 laps to go. And those bottom 3 up at the front of this field, they're starting to kind of really get the hang of their draft, starting to pull away. But Jeff Chandler in that 31 machine, he is trying to make his way up to the front after a heartbreaking night in last night's Mach 1 Performance Cup Series race. Seemed like nobody could get a break, and Jeff Chandler definitely one of those drivers trying to see if he can rebound here tonight at Atlanta.
That's a great looking car there too, so I'm definitely cheering him on. I want to quickly shout out the series sponsor, BestOne Tire and Service. If you're looking for a one-stop automotive repair and tire shop, BestOne Tire and Service helps you get the new tires, tire repairs, and auto service you need from the people you can trust. Check out their nearest location to you by visiting bestonetire.com. Jason, they're still running the bottom here. 4-car single file, which seems to be the theme early on as we've completed 6 laps and not really seen much of a change in the structure of this field so far.
Really, everybody's just kind of hugging the bottom right now. You don't want to see too many guys jumping out of lane, but obviously this is a very short race. Think about it, Jeremy. We're already approaching 80 laps to go here pretty soon. 10 laps up on the board in pretty much 5, 6, 7 minutes. So it's going by really fast so far. Even though it's still absolutely very, very early on, you just want to kind of ride around right now if you're comfortable on that bottom side. But if you're a driver up at the top of this racetrack, you got to get going so you don't head to the back of this field.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough how we're kind of seeing this dynamic play out on the bottom where the inside's clearly the fastest, right? It's kind of hindering how you can shuffle your way through the field. You might see some impatience and try to go 3 wide if you can make that lane happen, which we've seen the sucker hole become like an actual slingshot for some people at the bigger Daytona Speedway last week. So maybe something they can utilize again here tonight. Only time will tell. 31 Jeff Chandler actually gets shuffled out by the Mustang wannabe car there, who moves up into 3rd place. I believe that's the number 99 of Kevin Lee Ruff, not running the normal paint scheme, but he forgot his template. I called him out last week on the broadcast, and he brought a new scheme, but where'd the nose go?
Yeah, where did the nose go? It looks like that car just absolutely decided, hey, we're just going to completely cover up the Dark Horse logo and the front
drawing
grille
of the
there.
number.
Yeah, look at that, though. That's an interesting paint scheme for sure. 99. I mean, it's very, very cool, though. I mean, hey, you want to try to go out there and stand out. He's definitely standing out right there. It's almost if like, and this is no offense to that 99 machine, but I just think it looks cool because it's almost like Jeremy, you remember how like Chase Elliott and a few of those other guys, they used to obviously let children draw their paint schemes. I remember Chase Elliott recently, a couple of years ago, drove a cancer patient's paint scheme, one of the little girls, and ran it really, really strong. And that's honestly what it gives me the vibes of. So, yeah, and so did Kevin Harvick. A few other guys did it, and they've done it for many, many years. I know Ryan Blaney did it back in Indianapolis in 2015 in the Cup Series, so it's just really cool to see. I like it, personally. It's interesting. It stands out, and hopefully we'll see what that 99 can do.
I don't know if Dustin can kick it back, but on lap 10 there, if you notice right now, there's only 7 cars in this pack. Lap 10 there, they went 3 wide in the turn 3. On the outside was Jeff Chandler, Ryan Bean in the middle, and the 72 of Kyle Gretsch coming to turn number 3. And the 31 and 28 made contact, as you see in other cars. That's the number 24, getting pretty sideways there in turn 2, and almost saved it, but looped it for a complete stop. He was able to not be affected by anybody else on the track, which was good to see. But there was almost a massive pileup there in turn 10, which has kind of separated this pack right now.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, Jeremy, when we were talking about it, because I saw the leaderboard shuffle up big time. Oh, whoa, look at this. No wonder why the field shuffled up big time. They wrecked They all went sideways about 7 times, but somehow managed to save it and went to the bottom. And Jeremy, if this race were to go green all the way to the end, I mean, this race just got flipped completely upside down.
Yeah, that really just backed things up. And if this race goes green, which RSR is known for going green flag quite often, if there's not a yellow, like that's going to decide your top 7. They're all by themselves and got a huge distance. So there's going to need to be a lot of teamwork from this second and third pack to close in on these leaders because right now it's an easy race for your top 7.
Yeah, definitely an easy race for sure. I mean, just look at the gap. I mean, looking up at the live time and scoring pylon on us, I mean, you have Brock Potter leading, and that pack goes all the way back to Zach Wilson, who is back by 7/10 of a second. Then you go back to Kyle Gretsch. He is 5 seconds back. Then you have John Blasity in 10th. He is 7.5 seconds back nearly. Then you go back to Michael Carter. He is 10 seconds back. And then you go back to Harold Watkins. He's 13 seconds back at 17th. This field, Jeremy, it almost looks like practice kind of right now.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And I see Thomas S. on the YouTube side saying, let's hope for a photo finish like in real life. Man, that would be amazing if we could see 3 wide at the line. That'd be amazing. We saw 5 wide, not last Sunday, but the Sunday prior. So let's see if RSR can maybe match something crazy like that. And then Doyle, to answer your question, what happened? Well, 3 wide. Looks like Jeff Chandler maybe pinched the corner insurance just a touch, and the 28 made contact with his left rear, and everyone did an excellent job avoiding / saving it from being a much bigger wreck than what it could have been. But momentarily it does have things pretty spaced out in the field. Shout out to one of our partners here tonight. Admin Box is built by iRacers for iRacers to be utilized in league and hosted races. The goal is to make race control as easy as possible for race admins in either racing or providing race control. Each admin box connects via USB and features pre-programmed commands, no key binding required, for race control, driver function, and pit options. LED backlit makes the buttons highly visible in any situation. Check out their pricing plans at adminbox.com, promo code RSR-BOXX. We'll save you 10%.
Noticing, Jeremy, too, that with all these guys up here at the front of this field, this brings up a great question. You know, we know with 100% fuel load usually here what the fuel run looks like, but these guys, remember, they only run 70% fuel load in this RSR Next Gen Cup Series. So, I mean, when do they pit? That's the question. We're already coming up to complete lap number 19. We're approaching 70 laps to go already, and with the 70% fuel load, usually with 100%, you can go about 55 to 65 laps on a tank of fuel here. I mean, we're looking at maybe these guys pitting somewhere around halfway, maybe even earlier.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting 45 to 50 will be your opening window, and a lot of people coming in at that point in time. Split the race in half. You'll see some people, maybe 15th or 20th, that got involved in that little issue there in turn 3 on lap 10 to say, hey, we're going to run the fuel tank dry to maximize our chance of catching a caution and getting yourself back to the front. But those front cars, either they can play off of that and go, maybe we can go to the distance and then pit, or we'll just cut this thing right in half. But that's all, of course, depending on how the feeling of this race continues to go as we're 20 laps in.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt about it. And we're going to have to obviously see what it's going to look like when these guys do come to pit road. Yesterday in the Mach 1 Performance Cup Series, we were approaching green flag pit stops, but a caution came out right before the pit stop started to happen. So if you're some of these guys in the back of this field, you know, do you try to short pit and take the undercut over these guys up at the front so you don't have to pit? But the thing is they're so far out in front, I just don't know if it's going to work. I mean, what happened going into turn 3 a few laps ago with Jeff Chandler and most of the field, Jeremy, that really flipped this race completely upside down to a point to where we as broadcasters don't really know exactly what's going to happen with the field being so spread out into like 3 or 4 separate packs, when they're going to pit, who they're going to pit with, how long they can go. I mean, this just made it for a really interesting race here tonight.
Yeah, look at that iRacing iFlag track map right there on your upper left-hand side of your screen. Scattered. Of course, you got the main pack there through 1 and 2 now. But you got little groups in the tri-oval now. Second kink, first kink, and then you got a few cars there in 3 and 4, 1 or 2 now crossing the line. They're just scattered a little bit everywhere, a little patchiness throughout the entire track. But while we're kind of waiting to see what they do and how they catch up, we're going to take our first commercial break here this evening. We'll be back here in just a few messages. And returning back to full screen here for the VRTL Alliance 135 for the Best One Tire Cup Series here at the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway, resuming on lap number 31 here of scheduled 90. And still got the top 7 all within one group here, which are on the backstretch right now on your screen. And then over to the next pack of cars, a couple have joined in together. Looks like 6 have all lined up nose to tail to kind of tackle that gap that has been separating them ever since that lap 10 incident on turn number 3, which they're not making much room. It's a basically tied in numbers game, and they're stuck. They're at that 7.5 second mark behind the leaders, Jason, and they're trying everything they can. They just can't get the ball rolling to catch anywhere near to that front pack.
Yeah, definitely not at all. I mean, they are back way big time. 7.5 seconds nearly. It's just not really going to happen unless they get a yellow or something shakes up in the pits. These guys get really separated. We're just going to have to find out and see. I mean, we're already under 60 laps to go. These guys are going to be pitting here with probably in the next 10 to 15 laps, I'd say. I mean, that could be your biggest shakeup of the whole race, is seeing, how the battle is coming off pit road, where everybody ends up when the green flag cycle does happen, or maybe we get some random caution. I mean, we almost had a caution. The only guys who really have the opportunity to wreck are those guys coming out of turn number 2 right now in 17th. That would be Harold Watkins. Look at this pack right here, all grouped up together. If there's going to be a wreck, Jeremy, it's going to come from right there.
Big group of cars there. It's kind of going too wide. They're utilizing the very top of the track for the most part. A couple pointing their nose down in the middle of the lower half, which if you're trying to catch anybody, you want to just ride nose to tail. It might be one of the most boring races that you can run, but this is what you have to do if you want to try to catch the people inside the top 10, is you just got to tuck in nose to tail, log some laps. You still have over half the race to go. A lot of left and right here. You see the 10 and the 26 going to the double white line. They're on the bottom, and everybody else, including, what was that silver car there running right up against the wall? That was the number 27, Mark Thibodeau, almost scraping the wall, trying to utilize every ounce of real estate in turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are just obviously trying to race, make up some positions, but, they got to be mindful of one another. You don't want to wreck, obviously, with just less than 60 laps to go. I mean, this is still going on, but like I said, Jeremy, if this wreck's going to happen, it's going to come from right here. This is really the only battles we got going on the racetrack. You see the 68 machine all the way to the top of the board, or to the top there. That's Andrew Little. He's got help from right behind him. That would be one of the Logitech G machines. That would be the 25 car of Dwayne Furtick going into turn number 1. So they're trying to race the outside lane, get past that 88 of Anthony Ludi. Not able to do it. 25 tucks back in line. 68, though, left out to dry on the outside lane. And Jeremy, these guys really not making up a lot of ground, being side by side for sure.
Not only are they not making up ground, they're actually losing. Last time by, they lost 0.4 of a second on the lead 7 cars. Coming to the line this time from a 19.5 to a 20.0, so a half a second lost on that exchange. So 2 laps, they lost an entire second of gap. They have numbers. They have the best numbers, but they don't have the preferred way to get around here fastest, and that is being single file, just tucked into one another and doing it. Running the top, running the bottom, they're so scattered. They're having fun. They're trying to mix it up with what positions they can gain, but ultimate goal is the trophy, and this is not how you're going to do it.
Yeah, definitely not how you're going to do it. The number 72 machine, though, that's the first car in the second pack right behind Zach Wilson. That would be Kyle Gretchen. He has actually gained a little bit of time with his buddies. They've gained a second here in the last few laps. Remember, it was about 7.5. Now it's about almost getting down to 6. So second and a half gain for them in just the last few laps. Doing a great job, but obviously still a ton of ground to make up by those guys there in that pack.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to shout out another one of our partners here for the RSR side, NJB Designs, and that's with 2 S's at the end. NJB Designs is your one-stop shop for all your iRacing design needs. So if you need a one-of-a-kind way to showcase your sponsors, then look no further than NJB Designs. Their staff will work with you to create your vision so you can look like a winner around every corner. So look for them on the social medias, NJB Designs.
Noticing too that these guys right here, they're kind of deciding, Jeremy, what lane they want to run. They keep going to the bottom, they keep going to the top. I could see why they're going to the top, because obviously you talk about that surge of momentum coming off the corners with how banked this track is at 28 degrees since the repave and reconfiguration. They're making some good time though right now. I mean, if they just stay together like this, they're losing a few of their guys. You see Kevin Zabaldil, you see James Catrone. They gotta stay tight together. The less tight they become, the less ground they're going to make up. So obviously, the more cars, the better. The tighter you are, the faster you're going to be together. They're already cracking underneath the 6-second gap. It's about 5 3/4 of a second back from Kyle Gretsch to the leader. So, I mean, they're gaining ground. They just got to stay tight together here as we're approaching halfway here quite soon.
I'm actually quite impressed with this pack. We saw it from the camera angle coming off of turn number 4. Riding on board, I think it was James Catrone's roof camera. But the gap this pack here is not tucked in. They have huge gaps. They have 3 cars leading at the 72, 28, 83. And then as we see Brandon Gagnon actually scrape the wall trying to utilize the top lane. That's going to slow up this pack even more. But they're spaced out. But at the same token, they're still gaining a 10th here and a 10th there on the 7 cars who are doing very well riding in line. So clearly the 72, Kyle Gretsch, has one of the fastest setups to lead a pack. They're just kind of spaced out and hindering any extra further advancement they can make.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's only got right behind him. He's got Ryan Bean pushing him. One of the probably the better super speedway drivers out here. Remember, finished second to his teammate Nate Campbell, who currently resides in the 5th spot, doing a great job there for Stealth Motorsports. Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. right now leading this field up in the front with that Ford Dark Horse Mustang, doing a great job in the John Deere colors. I just don't know if they're going to be able to catch him because right now they've lost a few tenths. I think, Jeremy, because they're obviously not tight like this pack is. I mean, they're not too tight up here, but they're still grouped up together. I mean, they definitely have the best formation out of all these groups, all the way back from the John Deere car of Bob Fitzpatrick, all the way back to Zach Wilson in that Ryan Blaney Body Armor Zero Sugar machine, doing a great job there, obviously. I mean, it's just tough. For what happened just many laps ago going into turn 3. I mean, I can't stress enough, Jeremy, this has just been one of the weirdest races here at Atlanta that I've called here. We got to yell at Bob Fitzpatrick around, I believe. Oh, no.
Couple cars, the 51, the 54. 54, we get Anthony Younes. Those two, a lot of damage to the nose ends of their cars here as it brings out the first caution right at the halfway mark in tonight's 90-lap event. As we jump over to the Nerd TV replay, looking at the 54 and the 51, and right now there's a huge closing gap, closing, and Anthony just does not. Well, he kind of backs it down there, so now they're equal. So we're going to see what happens. Maybe some pit stops. It looks like we see Kevin Lee Ruff coming down pit road. Oh, the 51 just makes a huge correction. Zach Wilson overjudges it, comes up in front of Anthony, and puts those two in the wall.
Yeah, that was a very tough break. And actually, my apologies, that 12 machine was Rob Fitzpatrick Sr., who I believe got the lead lap back, and then a massive multi-car pileup coming out of turn number 4. Everybody trying to get woed up there, and unfortunately, they all just get collected. There's the hard hit into the wall. They're going to come right down the racetrack into the path of everybody, and then,
man.
Boom!
Stacks. There's that 17's involved there. Kevin Zabladale, heavy contact to the left front of Anthony Younes. And I think maybe Brandon Gagnon got slightly involved. Not the 15. I think that was it. There's 3 or 4 cars involved. It could have been much worse. But riding on board here, the 83, seeing the spin, driving through the smoke. You couldn't really see the 54 with the smoke there until the last minute or so.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out, Jeremy. It's like everybody was so focused on the 54 of Younes that nobody saw Zach Wilson until it was too late there going in. Now, here's the thing that I want to point out. You notice, obviously, Jeremy, that caution came right coming to pit road, and it's been so tough to get down there. We haven't really seen anybody try to commit to a green flag pit stop here at Atlanta, except in the NIS stuff, for the official racing on iRacing. But I still have not even seen what a green flag pit stop looks pretty organized together. But with that being said, because the caution came out when they were coming onto pit road, I would not be surprised if some of those drivers got nabbed for entering a closed pit, because it happens. And then when that happens, man, it is really hard to get back up to the front, especially at a track like here in Atlanta.
Atlanta's turn 1 is still, the camera is still completely broken there as we're looking at the 31, and quite a few of those come down pit road on the second lap of this pacing to get more repairs done to their cars. And yeah, this is going to cycle things back to normal, back to a large super speedway style pack. That's going to eliminate the lap 10 mess up there and bring all your favorites back into one image. It's going to be 26 cars on the lead lap when we go back to green flag racing, which is going to happen in 3/4 of a lap here. But that being said, Alexander Hodge, number 11, 19th to first, making some huge gains right now. And right now to his outside, Nathan Campbell, last week's winner, last year's winner here, 17th. Didn't qualify well, didn't have a good practice. But with this caution, it's going to bring up P2. So that's part of the Waterford's Concepts top 10 recap. Just to go down the rest of the top 10, Ryan Bean going to be the third, John Vlasity in fourth, Bob Fitzpatrick in fifth, Zach Strenthal sixth, Kevin Ruff seventh, Brock Potter eighth, James Control ninth, and Matt Hayden is your 10th place car on this restart. We're just going to wait for this pace car to drop, or pace truck rather. And then we're going to see some more good. Oh, actually, we have waived it by 1 lap. They're going to try to button up the field a little bit more. So 1 more lap, and then we'll go green.
Yeah, great heads-up call for the admins here at RSR to be able to make that call. Because, I mean, look at how spread out that field is there in the back. Nobody was double file there, and I'm sure there's a lot of confusion going on, Jeremy. And, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe iRacing kind of had a glitch moment when it was coming down into the pits, because obviously all the guys trying to come down pit road, possibly getting penalties. I'm sure it kind of shook some things up there, and now you're seeing everybody just trying to pace around.
And Doyle saying no more mistakes tonight, guys. And for his person, he's rooting on Jeff Chandler. Just kind of maximize what you can with the little damage you got, which it's very easy to do at Atlanta. So I should have no problem with that 31 getting back up to the front. Pace truck is going to catch up, and as soon as he gets to the front of this field, he's going to quickly dive back off the track because we only have a half a lap left. And then we'll resume this race on lap 50, so it'll be 41 laps to go at the start-finish line here. And just a quick ad read before we go back to green. Space Panda. Relax and unwind with Space Panda's world-class Delta 8 and 9 products. Made in the USA, completely GMO-free, Space Panda delivers top-quality products with amazing results and effects. Experience the ultimate relaxation after a stressful day with Space Panda. Visit them at spacepandadelta.com, RSR, as your promo code for 10% off your entire purchase. And here we go. Pace truck back down. No waving this one. Alexander Hodge is going to take this thing to the green flag. And green flag is out. He gets a decent start there over the 45. Looks like a clean start for the whole field. We're back to green flag racing.
Yeah, and you obviously see Alexander Hodge get a great restart there down into turn number 1. You see Nate Campbell, he's able to tuck back in line, and right behind him, John Vlasity in the 15 machine. They're going to pull out to a 4-car breakaway while everybody else behind them tries to make it back up here. This time by, we're going to be hitting 40 laps to go, so just over halfway. In this field, sees the opportunity. They could see the win in front of them, Jeremy. Now that they don't have the issues of being all spread out, we're about to find out and see who's got the best car here, because so far, we really don't know.
Well, this little 4-pack of car right now is doing some huge work, able to maintain over everybody else. And I think they were slightly improving, but now that second pack is starting to single file in, and this is where that 38 of control and everybody else is going to kind of, that's a 27 rather. Those two with the chrome cars are going to mix me up quite some time. That's Mark Thibodeau leading the second pack, and yeah, he made up a half a second there this lap around. This is going to bring everyone back into the picture. And I tell you what, once everyone does get there and go side by side, we're in for a treat here for the rest of the way.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to be in for a treat. I mean, considering the fact that this is Atlanta, and we are yet to see what these RSR guys can all really do in a pack. I mean, it only went about, what, Jeremy, less than 10 laps before we saw an incident, and then they all got scattered up. Now you see the field, though, majority of them single file. Doesn't want to see the same thing happen, probably. I'm sure most of them just want to ride in line, but I'm sure somebody's going to want to duck out of line and try to make this outside here work.
Yeah, 100% here. Top 5 or 6 single file, and you're starting to see some 2x2x2 as the field starts to build up inside the top 5. But right now, led by Alexander Hodge, doing a great job showing what his car can do leading a pack. Coming off turn number 4, the 28 of Ryan Bean has passed his teammates, going to put him P2. A little shifting inside, outside, people recognizing where the line is building right now. And so we're going to continue to see this top side just gain cars, gain momentum, as the leaders still elect to use the inside lane here. You got about 9 to 10 cars on the top, 12 or 13 on the bottom. And here they come inside the top 5 slowly but surely.
Yeah, and you see all of them now starting to work up to the top side here. That top lane being led by the number 27 of Thibodeau, going through the tri-oval, back down into turn number 1. They're going to get a great surge of momentum, I think, Jeremy, here down the back straightaway, because that 15 machine there and that Dale Earnhardt Jr. Budweiser throwback from the early 2000s there, he's just kind of getting sucked right back up to that 5th place car in line. That's Steven Rasick in the 21 machine. But they're able to obviously get back going, so the outside lane doesn't have as much momentum as we thought coming down into turn number 3, but they're getting up there pretty quickly. Here comes the 27 of Thibodeau. He is up to the 15 again now, entering turn 1.
Yeah, as you guys are logging laps, I see Doyle Lawrence saying, what was Space Panda product? And that's just a Delta 8 and Delta 9 product, THC cannabis style relaxation product. So if you just want to have a nice relaxation, whether it be, if you're in the middle of the day or the end, choose spacepandadelta.com for that. And we're still seeing the top 3 or 4 single file here. Starting to see a couple names pop up inside this top 5. I know, Dustin, you talked about the 15 John Velocity, his paint scheme, an old Dale Jr. paint scheme there. That's a really neat looking car.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Actually, fun story about that car. That's the first paint scheme. The first die cast I ever owned was when I turned a year old. My uncle got me the 2002 Dale Jr. Budweiser 124 scale car. I'll always hold that die cast near and dear to my heart, because it was the first die cast I started to collect, obviously, now of many. And there you go. And that was Dustin's too. So it's crazy to think the amount of people. I'm sure even if you were a non-NASCAR fan growing up in the early 2000s, like, you'd go over somebody's house, I'm sure they would have a Budweiser, or at least those branded for kids cars that would say Dale Earnhardt Jr. on them instead of Budweiser, so the kids can play with them and not be playing with a car sponsored by an alcoholic beverage. So that paint scheme definitely touched the lives of many people in NASCAR. I know I was one of them. And obviously we got to see Dale Jr. run that paint scheme at the end of his career in 2017 at Homestead. Wasn't the finish that he wanted, but it was definitely a badass looking scheme for sure, to say the least.
Yeah, 100%. I have to agree. I am different. That was not my first diecast, so I will hold that over you two. Which Rusty Wallace was my guy, and that was my first diecast, so I count that as not a loser moment. And I'll take pride in that, actually, too. So, 2 being Rusty, of course. So the 27th Thibodeau is kind of like still logjam there. He's about 4th or 5th in line, but on the top side, he just cannot get anywhere past this 94 or 34 and the 21. He's just kind of stuck there on the top. He needs a little more assistance to get the ball rolling, but right now this top 4 on the inside is just being so dominant at this time on 60 laps in.
Yeah, I mean, honestly here, Jeremy, if I were these guys, I mean, and this is no disrespect to the 27 machine at all whatsoever, but get him out of the line. Try to see if you can give him the push. If he can't take it, you got to try to shuffle him out. You need a different leader up here at the front of this field, because clearly the 27 is not able to pull them up to the front of this field here. They can only get to about 4th or 5th in line on the bottom side, so maybe they're going to have to get more and more aggressive. There goes one car, the number 45, Nate Campbell. He thought about going to the top. He'll quickly jump back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Now they're getting up to 3rd. Might need to start being aggressive here with the pushes. Under 30 laps to go, and it's going to come by really quickly.
Yeah, you should be close to having your partner, if not already there, because this is go time. Inside 30 laps, no more pit stops. No more green flag pit stops. So this is it. So you need to put yourself in position now. We're probably going to start seeing some 3 wides and some close calls for the remainder of this event. And we're going to see a temporary 3 wide as a lap car is coming into your frame. That's 83 of Brandon Gagnon. He's going to go all the way to the top of the track, but still going to create a little 3 wide action here. Almost 4 wide there for a moment as the camera panned over. He's going to keep it to the top. That car is pretty beat up and off pace, of course, by how that car looks. I don't blame it. But yeah, and moving back toward the front of the field, the 27 mark is actually making a little ground up, Jason. He is alongside the 15. That is for 4th place.
Yeah, but again, we've seen that outside lane start to stall out. I mean, the 15 with the side force being put on the side of that 27 machine and the side draft, it's just so hard. And also just washing up, coming into the corners. I don't think a lot of drivers realize how much momentum that kills when you go up to the top of the racetrack and kind of wash up like you just saw the 27 of Thibodeau do. And he almost does it again there entering turn one. But let's keep an eye here on this camera angle. Just watch this 27, or really just in general, this entire outside lane. The bottom lane is going to stay hooked up, but watch this top side. Some of these guys are going to start to kind of slide up right here, just like you see right there. They did it briefly. You don't understand as a driver maybe sometimes, or you don't really notice it, but it kills so much momentum. If they could just arc it, I think, a little bit more, get a little tighter on the door of those guys on the inside lane, I really think they could make up some ground.
Yeah, the potential is there for sure. We just got to see what they can do to make that happen. And the three cars up front, the 11, 28, 45, just they're able to gap themselves a little bit. The 15 kind of lost that momentum. John just backed up. And now Mark Thibodeau's passed him. Andrew Little in 68, he's looking to be to the outside, if not clear. The 15 of John Vlasity into turn number one. But a little momentarily, you have to see a little three-car breakaway. But here comes the 27. He's inching closer and closer. He has the side draft now of the 45, and that's going to be nothing but to his advantage. Keeping it, he has the window to drop down, but he's going to stay committed to the top.
He's going to have to get tight on the 45's door here once he gets to him. He has to get those two stealth guys separated. He actually jumps down in line, so now this outside lane is going to be completely different. Maybe not. Thibodeau goes back to the outside. He's going to have to get tight on the 45's door, get the stealth guys separated. There you go. Side draft him down the back straightaway. Try to arc it going into turn number 3. Make sure you don't wash up with the rest of the boys behind you, because you're going to kill that momentum. You see them wash up right there. The bottom lane surges out just a little bit more going through the corners. They're doing a great job. They just have to do a little bit more if they want to get up there.
A little bit more indeed. A little movement there through the quad oval that time by, and it momentarily slowed up the top lane. Now the 27-15 are back door to door, at least for this lap here, coming up to lap 70. 21 to go at the line. And we're going to shout out another partner here for the RSR Next Gen Cup Series. This time, Waterford Concepts LLC. Waterford Concepts is a leader in engineering, 3D printing, 3D scanning, and composite manufacturing. Focused primarily on automotive, RC, and motorsports, Waterford Concepts is your shop to make ideas a reality. Visit them on Facebook at facebook.com Waterford Concepts. And we saw a car there. Is that the 34? Yeah, 34. Steve Potter, way out of shape there on the backstretch.
Yeah, saw him real quick, Jeremy. Didn't mean to cut you off when we were giving that ad read there for Waterford. Great company. Just got sideways out of lane. The 88 machine tried to come down. It's Anthony Ludi. And then he's getting pinched so much that eventually this number 34, I believe, just comes right down. You see the 88. He's hugging that line. But the 34 of Potter just comes right down in front of the 88. Thankfully, kind of overcorrects it right here, and tank slaps the wall, causing all that momentum to be lost. But this is where I was worried, Jeremy, was when he was coming back up the racetrack, he could have easily wiped out half the field there in the back half. And thankfully, he wasn't able to. Heartbreaker for the 34. He was doing a great job there right in the middle of that pack, but obviously now he's all the way to the back and has some heavy damage. But look up at the front of this field. Nate Campbell and Ryan Bean, they've been able to go to the lead with Bean taking the point. They got around the 11 of Alexander Hodge and John Vlasity, and they've been able to do something here. They're actually going to be riding on the top side, so this is interesting to see for the first time here tonight.
You can just see how fast the Stealth Motorsports group really is. They pass the 11 of Alexander Hodge, and they just left him behind, moved him all the way back to 4th there. And the 11 looks like he just cannot get to the bump of the 15, which I thought the 15 was going to not be able to get back to these guys, but after they made that pass, it re-brought him back into the picture, and now he's hanging tight along the... Oh, we can see the 68 Andrew Little getting a little bit of that wall glue there through turns 3 and 4, and it's going to drop him back from 8th place, probably back to about 15th at the line, actually 19th. So he lost 11 positions with that.
Yeah, and that was very interesting. We're going to take here and look for the pass for the race lead in just a second. But the 68, obviously, Jeremy, talk about that wall glue, all caused by him washing up the racetrack, getting stuck up there. There's the pass for the race lead. That was Ryan Bean just crossing over the 11 machine, went to the bottom, decided to go to the top with his teammate. And just like that, the two Stealth Motorsport guys, the best of buddies there, they're able to get to the front here and now approaching 15 laps to go, still able to hold the lead. Hodge and Velocity, they're going at it for third. Going through turn number 2, Velocity still stuck up on the top side while Hodge tries to work the bottom side. He's got some help coming from Adam Boughton, who was strong here last season and I believe got taken out in a wreck late in the going, trying to see what he can do there in that Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet.
Yeah, 100% here. And late into this run, you're seeing the 28 and the 45 there leading the charge on the top. The 11 of Alexander Hodge was using the bottom, which was doing great. The 28, the 45, these guys feel like the top is the preferred way from this point forward, and they're doing a great job keeping the first 4 to 5 cars single file on the upper half of the track. Alexander Hodge is the first car on the bottom alongside 5th and 6th place right now, unable to make advancements down there. So at the moment, it's kind of weird. The top 4 or 5 just continue for 20 plus laps straight being single file, and everybody else then goes 2 by 2 by 2.
Yeah, doing a great job there at the top of the racetrack. I mean, the turntables have pretty much flipped. And I mean the 11 machine, you see him there on the bottom side. Remember, he was riding on the bottom and they had the race lead. Now it is completely flipped upside down. It's the top lane that's the dominant side of things. And honestly, Jeremy, I really can see this top lane basically just peeking away with this win here, as we're just now under 15 to go with 13 remaining. I mean, if you're a guy up on the top side here, I mean, if you get clear of this 11 machine, I think your best bet is to try to come down in front of the 11, carry that momentum, let them suck up to you, and try to see if you can get the push from the draft. You see the 27 machine of Thibodeau scrapes the wall, and he's going to get up into the wall again. Jeremy, nearly some wall glue there like you always mentioned. And there goes the 11. He tries to come up, not clear. He'll have to go back down to the bottom, but checks up the inside lane. 12 laps to go, and the top 3 are loving what they're seeing in the mirror.
Right now they are on cruise control, just kind of hanging tight here. 12 laps to go, 11 and a half now as they get on the backstretch, headed to turn number 3. Doyle Lawrence saying the tires are getting greasy and a lot of movement through this field. That's partly because of the looseness in the car, and partly now because we see a car might have a wreck. A couple people touched the wall, or 3 or 4 wide. Everybody saves it. I do not know where that started, but thankfully we keep it going straight. We stay at green flag, 10 and a half laps left remaining. But I was saying that the tires are getting greasy from Doyle, and then Thomas S. following up saying doesn't help at the track. It's 124 degrees, which absolutely on the 21 Stephen Rasick now on the wall.
Yeah, just more and more guys up at the top of this racetrack, Jeremy. This is where you're going to see maybe partially. And look at that track temperature with the 124 degrees, the super speedway package, the tightness of this racetrack, the tires starting to wear out. I would not be surprised, Jeremy, if this outside lane starts to fade away here possibly because of guys getting up into the wall in 3 and 4. You see that more than anywhere on this racetrack. So we're going to find out and see here possibly.
Yeah, right now I think Ryan Bean, Nathan Campbell, this combination is in the best spot. And I feel like Nathan Campbell is my pick right now as we get to 9 laps to go. He just needs to make a run happen, jump to the inside or outside, and I think the 15 will follow along suit. So right now, I feel like that 45 is in the best spot to go back to back.
Yeah, I really think he is. I mean, he's got his teammate in front of him. What are you going to do? You don't want to obviously cost your teammate a victory, but you want to try to get a victory yourself here. I'm not too sure, though. Oh, we got a wreck going through the triangle. It's going to be a big one.
No.
Oh, going through. Big crash going to 1.
Just a tight gap. Try to make work out of it and did not work. That was Kevin Ruff there in the 99 trying to go between Mark Thibodeau on the 27 and the 11 of Alexander Hodge, and that window closed quick when he got there. And then the 11.99, those two got together, bringing out the second caution here this evening. As we jump over to the Nerd TV replay to take a look.
Yeah, we're gonna rewind it here in just a second. I saw going through the tri-oval, one driver just got really loose. I believe it was the 11 of Alexander Hodge. You're gonna see right here once they get out of this first part of the dog leg. You see Adam Boughton. He's got a massive run. The 99 of Kevin Ruff's coming down, and this is the thing, Jeremy. You talked about it during pre-race. It's so tough to go through this dog leg, and it's the most awkward part of the racetrack here since this track was reconfigured and obviously uses the super speedway package. So it's just a really, really tough deal because you never know where these guys are going to fan out going through the dog leg or the tri-oval, whatever you may want to call it. And that's unfortunately what we had happen there. We saw that a lot in the Global Racing League Truck Series on Sunday. A lot of crashes going through that part of the racetrack. Saw a few in yesterday's Mach 1 Cup race. And unfortunately, these guys bite the bullet for it as well here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And it kind of changes up the game plan of how these teammates are going to approach this race. They had it basically made, and now they're going to be alongside each other, 1-2 bottom top. And so you see the 34 there. That's Nolan Potter. Looks like he's going to be your Lucky Dog Award recipient, presented by Martin Sports. That's your hashtag Get a Grip award from that Pop Tarts Toyota Camry. As he goes around the field, we got a lap and a half to go to green flag. Quick shout out to one of our new partners here and for RSR. It's going to be Victory Fuel, flavored electrolyte water. Victory Fuel has a load of electrolytes, absence of caffeine, and low sugar content, which makes it the perfect drink to keep you hydrated and energized. Victory Fuel contains no artificial colors and is packed with daily vitamins to support overall health. The best part, it's kid-friendly and caffeine-free, making it the perfect hydration drink also for the entire family. Get fueled to victory today at drinkvictory.com.
Can't wait to try that product too, Jeremy. I mean, the both of us, Dustin was kind enough, sent us a nice little message here the last couple days, said, hey, got you guys this, what's your address? We sent him the address, and he sends, hey, look what I got you. So thank you, Dustin, again for supporting Victory Fuel, supporting us, and thankfully we're going to be able to get to try that here, and just, look, there he is. Hey, Walter, thank you, buddy, appreciate it. We love you, man. And yeah, we're going to get to try the Victory Punch. I'm really excited because it's funny too, Jeremy. Is there a such thing as a plain water? I mean, all I like is regular water. I usually don't drink flavored water. When it comes to flavored hydration drinks, I'm usually a loyal Body Armor guy. So it's not necessarily water, but it's a sports drink. So now I get to try a flavored electrolyte water. So I'm really excited to try it. Big fruit punch guy. Hopefully it's good, and I'm sure it's going to be.
I think it's going to be a wonderful. I usually am not partial to the the sparkling waters where it's just like an orange truck from 5 miles drives by a bottle of water and whispers orange, and all of a sudden it has some orange flavor in there. Like, it just says so faint. But I've heard nothing but great things from this product. So we'll be in-house this week as well. And as we got a half a lap left here. Nerd Tracks, we got new audio for you guys. Spring Fever with the Nerditudes song New World. That's our official song here for the Nerditudes. And welcome aboard, Spring Fever. It's kind of cool. You can find them on Facebook and X at Spring Fever Band, and all streaming platforms. They have music available to stream live. Some really good rock, alternative rock content. That is Spring Fever. Listen to New World especially. But we're jumping over to the green flag here with just a handful of laps to go, resuming on 87. So 4 laps to go to the end.
Great restart for Ryan Bean and obviously Nate Campbell. They're able to jump out there and just look at the sheer power they got on the restart. And John Vlasity, he was not sleeping compared to a majority of this field. Marc-Andre Thibodeau probably was just waking up a little bit, but the rest of the field was definitely caught sleeping, and now they're out there. Jeremy, will this field get up to them and eat them like a pack of hungry sharks here, because they are closing the gap really quickly coming to 3 laps to go?
Yeah, there's some big shifting around their mid-pack. Contact the 94 out of shape. That's Steve Potter. Looks like, nope, not able to hold on to it. We had the caution for the 3rd time this evening. And I think that was back with the 94. We'll have to verify if that was the caution or something else brought it out. But either way, iRacing officials threw the caution with 3 laps to go. I didn't see the 94 wreck. I think Dustin, our awesome camera guy, has it. And there we go. One car deciding to maybe cut in and out of your screen a lot. And yeah, a couple cars just got together late in the going here through the first kink of the dogleg.
Yeah, right here you just see obviously one of those machines. I believe that's one of the Potter guys. Just got in to that Chevrolet. That's Nolan Potter. Got in to the numbers into Jerry Culver there. Unfortunately, comes right up into the 12 there. Unfortunate heartbreaker there for Rob Fitzpatrick Sr. Just collected in this one, just going through the dog leg again, Jeremy. Another few drivers bite the bullet going through the dog leg. Something we've seen this week. It's something we've obviously seen here tonight because that makes it now 2 times we've seen it.
Yeah, Jerry Culver actually just pinched off the 34 there, Mr. Potter. Gave him nowhere to go, essentially, and got him in the left rear, spun him out, and then a couple just random people driving by got involved with it. Didn't look like there was too much damage. The 12 hit the wall pretty hard on his left front, so he might have something broke in the toe link section. But I think the number 8 was able to avoid no problem, and the 34 should be cleared. The number 8 or the 13 of Jerry Culver rather. I don't know. You see Justin with the floating camera looking with his drone around the 12's bodywork. The left front took the most of that. A lot of paint scraped off the side of that panel after he came to a rest on the outside wall entering turn 1, and I think he's going to stick this one out. Not a meatball flag, apparently, because he is still on the track.
Yeah, we're about to obviously see what goes on down here. During this next restart, we're going to be going into overtime here. It should be interesting to see how they do. Only 2 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. So, I mean, Jeremy, it's kind of really hard to go against the Stealth Boys up there of Ryan Bean and Nate Campbell. I just don't know if anybody's going to have anything for them. I really can honestly see Nate Campbell trying to help out his buddy here. I mean, he's already got 1 win on the bag in the bag this season. I mean, why not help your buddy? But at the same time, I mean, if I'm the 45 of Nate Campbell, man, screw Team Orders. I'm going for this damn thing. I mean, Ryan Bean was your biggest competition last year. Why give him the upper edge on you by handing him a win? It's just, you shouldn't do that. I'm really interested to see what the finish is going to be like. Again, I'm expecting the 45 to be a good friend here to Ryan Bean, a good teammate, and help him push him to victory. But, I mean, we don't know. We're just going to have to find out. Ryan Bean elects to go to the top side here, and the 45 machine is going to restart on the bottom. I'm assuming they're going to do a teammate restart. We're going to see what happens, but, I mean, we've seen it time and time again. They say they're going to do the teammate restart, and then all of a sudden they do it, or they don't. So, this is going to get good.
It's so easy to do the teammate restart. Essentially what they're going to do is the 45, 28, they're in the same channel. They're talking to one another. They're going to count each other down, 3, 2, 1, go. Mark, the second car in the lane on the top, is not going to... He's have to guess exactly of when Brian Bean's going to hit the gas pedal, right? So with that little maybe 1 to 2 car length gap between the 28 and the 27, that allow the 45 who jumped with the 28 to get back to that top lane if they choose to do so on this restart, just like they did that last restart.
Yeah, we're about to see, obviously. I mean, again, the 45 machine, will he elect to obviously be the good teammate, let Ryan Bean down? Will the 15 be able to give the 45 a good enough push? Maybe will Thibodeau get a good push here from Matt Hayden? We just saw this field pretty much sleeping at the last restart. We don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, maybe none of the Stealth Boys win this race. We're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, you have Matt Hayden. He's been in the mix all night long. He's right there in 6. You have Kane Lee as well. The 10 machine there of Adam Boughton. This is going to get good, Jeremy. I'm really looking forward to this.
Here we go. Green flag is out. Overtime here for the RSR Next Gen Cup Series is underway. 2 laps. If the caution flies this lap, we'll restack them again. If not, it'll be to the end. And the 28-45 getting their preferred groove, just passing everyone by 3 car lengths. Headed off into the back stretch here. Single file for the first 4 cars side by side. Everybody else back. Looks like they're pretty clean, but a little bit of 3 wide at the same time in turn 3. Shifting up from the number 4 of Brock Potter. Makes contact still with the 21. And we get to the white flag. Next lap will end this race, no question. Does the 45 make the move? We're about to find out.
Yeah, coming through 1 and 2 right now, down the back straightaway with the field grouped up on the inside lane. Ryan Bean and Nate Campbell might have to do a little bit of blocking. They're wrecking on the back straightaway. Nate Campbell jumps out of line. He's going to go to the bottom for the final time in 3 and 4. It's going to be a photo finish all the way to the line.
Not going to be 3 wide, but it'll definitely be 2 wide at the line. That huge... Oh, he's going to turn... Oh, no, Ryan Bean. Going to take the checkered flag. I mentioned it in the pre-race. You come off turn 4, you get that huge downhill ramp. That clearly helped Ryan Bean take the victory here this evening. But then a little contact with his teammate took him out of podium position. Nathan Campbell finishes 4th.
Man, we're going to have to take a look right there at that replay before we obviously say anything. I'm not too sure what happened. I mean, I saw both of them get pushes. So this is the first wreck going down the back straightaway, just to clarify who was in that. You see the 28 machine, or the 26 rather, just coming down the back straightaway, gets clipped here from that number 91, I believe that is, of Kane Lee, down the back straightaway. And then obviously starts a massive multi-car pile-up. Andrew Little gets involved. One of the Potters as well, Zach Schrententhal. Lots of drivers involved in this. Pretty much the big one coming into turn 3 on the final lap that we were yet to see here tonight. And then obviously we're going to take a look here at the finish all the way up. You see Ryan Bean, he was able to make the move down to the bottom side. And then this is where everything gets hairy, Jeremy. Coming through, if we could slow it down right here. Coming through the tri-oval. You see the 5 machine. He gives that push. The 45 is already loose. And the 15, I believe, gets into the back of the 28 there. And had he had turned him just a little bit differently, the 15 could have walked away with this victory. But I don't see any harm. No foul out of the 28 and the 15 there. Maybe we can get another look on it. But I think it was just hard pushing from the guys behind him that caused them to get together.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. The 5, Matt Hayden, just gives him a little bit of a nudge. And I don't know how the 28 Ryan Bean did not turn on that second bump there from the 45. You see the swipe to the right rear, hits the 28. He's sideways. This second contact I thought for sure was going to dump him to the inside, but he kept it going straight. And that sends the 45 barely in 4th place there. Sneaks in behind the 5 car for that position. And the 10 there, Boughton, barely gets in 5th place. Close sequence there, massive pileup at the end, which is very, very super speedway-like here on the virtual world. And there's your race winner, number 28, Ryan Bean. First of the season, back-to-back wins for Stealth Motorsports. And doing his victory a little bit different, just going down pit road and just going to find his pit stall maybe. But we're going to go over the unofficial results here for tonight's race. And for the VRTL Alliance 135, Ryan Bean P1, John Vlacity in 2nd, Matt Hayden 3rd, Nathan Campbell 4th, Adam Boughton in 5th, Bob Fitzpatrick finishes in 6th, Dwayne Furtick 7th, up 22 positions, Mark Thibodeau in 8th, Tony Ludi 9th, and your 10th place finisher, Brock Potter.
You go all the way down top 20. Kane Lee obviously coming home P11. Then you have Steve Potter, Rasick Hodge, Fitzmaurice, Harold Watkins, Michael Sheffield, Andrew Little there taken out in the last lap, big one. Then you go down to 19th, 20th, 2 more drivers involved there, Zach Schrittenthal and James Controne there. Jeremy, round out your top 20.
21st on back, Nolan Potter. 22nd, Kent Mueller. 23rd, first car 1 lap down, was Kevin Ruff in the 99. 24th, Michael Carter. 25th, Brandon Gagnon. 26th, Jerry Culver. 27th, Richard Gonzalez. 28th, Kyle Gritch. 29th, Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. 30th, Jeff Chandler. 31st, Richie Coy. 32nd, Kevin Zabaldale. 33rd, Zach Wilson. 34th, Anthony Younes. In last place on the grid, did not make a lap though, posted the 57 of Brian Fine. We're going to kick it to full screen commercial break, and we'll be right back with your tonight's top 3. And welcome, guys, for the Martin Sports post race show here. And I do believe we got our tonight's top three finishers ready to go for their post race interviews. First one we're going to bring in is this number 5, Matt Hayden with the number 1 home center Chevrolet Camaro. Matt, congrats on your podium P3.
Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Qualifying time puts you 16th. You ran kind of up front for the most part, and then toward the late of the race, you found a way to poke yourself into the podium spot. Tell us how you got there and how you able to hold on.
Yeah, we it was pretty evident, especially when we got spread out, that holding the bottom was going to be hard to do. I mean, it was a lot of tire wear, a lot more than I thought it was going to be. You saw Bean and all them were running high line and pretty much holding the front by saving. So anyway, we I started lifting that last tire stint, or the only tire stint we had really, but started lifting, going in the corner, trying to stay on bottom, trying to save as much tire because I knew, it was gonna being able to make moves is what was gonna move you up front. So we just kind of waited until things got kind of crazy there at the end with the restart. So worked out. My goal was to get down to the bottom and hope that everyone was going to wash up late, and that's kind of what happened. Nate made a move to get down in front of me. I tried to give. I mean, once he got down in front of me, I was pretty well blocked in, so I was just going to try to shove him ahead of Bean, and um, bad push. I mean, I think he'd want me to either push him to try to get him to win, opposed to not pushing him. But I just wish it didn't send him down to the inside like it happened. So, but yeah, we're happy to be up here.
And Matt, congratulations, man, on finishing P3. Now you guys focus your thoughts and feelings away from two super speedways. You go to Las Vegas coming up on March 5th. I mean, two top 10s, or rather one top 5, one top 10 to start the season, man. How do you continue this momentum going forward, especially now that we're going to be starting to go to tracks where speed's definitely going to be showing in strength for sure compared to these super speedways?
Yeah, we kind of had similar thing last season on the first half at least. Had a couple of strong races. I think finished second here last time. Had a good Daytona finish. Las Vegas. I mean, it's a better track for me. I don't think I'm on par with probably the top 5 or 10 drivers at that track, but we knew like the later we got into some more technical tracks, I've got to kind of build myself up and then maintain better because last season it was once things started kind of sliding, we just kept falling further down the order. So more experience in the cup cars. So I don't know. We're just going to try to maintain this year and make our way towards the playoffs.
There you go, man. That's the ultimate goal. Get to the playoffs and give yourself a chance for any type of trophy at the end of the season. But, man, congratulations there, P3 for the second race of the year. Final thoughts before we let you go this evening.
Yeah, I mean, good race. I just, I think there's a few of us that are a little frustrated with that early incident. I don't know where the league wants us to go if they don't want us to run over each other and not throw a caution when half the field is watered up. So we'll have a discussion about that. Hopefully, get some things fixed because I think that's something that's we obviously had some concerns over. So, but outside of that, man, it's good hard racing. Had fun, and man, appreciate you guys for the broadcast.
And for absolutely, man. Have a good rest of your nights, and we'll catch you next week.
Appreciate it, everybody. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. That was the number 5, Matt Hayden. Now it's time to bring in second place finisher, number 15, Mr. John Vlasity in the Fuel Fest Chevrolet Camaro. John, welcome to P2. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
It looked like a lot of fun. You're up front for the most part there. You got fan favorite vote from Dustin and Jason up in the booth as far as paint scheme of the race. That thing was pretty bad fast. How did you prepare for tonight's race, and how did you find yourself P2?
Well, honestly, I didn't do a whole bunch of preparing. Super speedways are normally not my thing. So I try to stay in the back and not be a harm to anyone. And I found my way up front and decided to just kind of keep staying in line and don't try anything that's going to wreck the field. And then coming down to the end there, I was in P3 and we had a good thing going. I was just staying committed to Nathan and Ryan, seeing what happened.
Yeah, and John, congratulations on P2, man, and that badass scheme for sure. No doubt about it, like we talked about. And obviously, I'm going to ask you the same thing I just asked Matt Hayden. Now that we're away from two super speedways going into next week, you guys head to Las Vegas. How do you feel about that mile and a half? I know it's changed, obviously, since the recent oval refresh update a little bit. People said handles differently. What do you expect to head into there next week?
I expect it to be a lot of fun. I'm definitely excited to get away from the super speedways, and mile and a half's a kind of my comfort zone. So I'm excited to test out the new tire model and the new grip and kind of see what happens. I've been watching a lot of the A fixed races so far, and it seems like it's going to be a wild race next week. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, with that update next week, that could make some changes happen to the setup. So yeah, anything's up for grabs there. As far as who can find the speed the quickest, right, before you get to the next week's race. But congrats once more rather on P2 there tonight. Final thoughts before we let you go this evening.
I just want to thank everyone for having a great race, and it was a lot of fun. And I appreciate you guys for broadcasting this series. It's been a lot of fun the first 2 weeks, and I look forward to the rest of the season.
Absolutely, man. Well, good luck the rest of the way, and maybe we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. That was the 15 of John Vlasity. Now it's time to bring in a very familiar face here. To the booth we go. The number 28, Mr. Ryan Bean. Congratulations on the second race victory of the season.
Oh, thank you, thank you. It feels good to be back.
Yeah, man, for sure. Qualified fourth. You're up front for the most part. You got, well, I shouldn't say that. The 10th lap, there was that issue there with you and the 31 and someone on the inside. I forget exactly. Just kind of got pinched off there. Complete chaos and no caution. That was kind of impressive on the iRacing coding side to not recognize that as a wreck. But either way, you got the caution right at the halfway point, kind of reset everybody. And then what was your game plan from that point to find yourself at the front?
Yeah, I kind of like to think of my luck here at drafting tracks much like Kyle Larson's, always up front, but never able to finally get it. And once that all happened there, it was just like, damn, man, it's just gonna go green the rest of the way, and now we're screwed. But we started to form up there at the end of the fuel run, and then everybody wrecked, so that brought us all right back. But once I think a lot of people had black flags, had to go to the back, so I put me and Nate right there. And once that was it, me and Nate were like, all right, let's just try to control this race till we get to the end. And you saw there with one to go, we were able to race for it pretty much.
Yeah, and Ryan, congratulations, man. First win of the season. I'm sure it's definitely not the last. That's for damn sure. And obviously, walk us through that last lap because you guys kind of got out there. Then the pack caught you. And then Nate decided to pull out a line. And then coming out of turn 4, we thought it was going to be a drag race. And then all hell broke loose. You come home with the victory. Just take us through what was going through your mind coming down that back straightaway on the final lap.
Yeah, it was, me and Nate were talking about it under yellow, like, yeah, man, let's race. Well, obviously, we don't need that boring, he just pushes me to the end. So, once the light came out, that's it in my head. And I know in his head, we were thinking, all right, this is it. Let's duke it out. And he even told me, he thinks he did the move a little too early, but you got to take it when you get it. He was getting good runs off of 2 all day. But I was able to side draft him a little bit, and that brought Velocity up to me, and he was able to at least keep me there and keep me fresh. And then looked like a little bit of netco with me and Nate, but I think he also got tagged from Hayden, and I was able to, I guess, netcode my way to stay not spinning and stay on Nate's right side there. So again, back to the luck issue. I finally got a little lucky here, but we'll take him however we get him.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, bad bump from the 5. And I'm surprised the 45 when he came to your door panel did not turn you around. Thankfully, it didn't. And it kept you P1 here this evening. Man, final thoughts before we let you go here.
Yeah, as always, got to thank the league, Sheffield and Ludi. I'm excited for this season. It's going to be fun with the whole 36 race and the chase format. It's going to be unique and I think a lot better. Got to thank the boys at Stealth. We worked well. Unfortunately, a couple other guys had some trouble just staying in the back of the pack, not able to fight their way through, but that happens at these kinds of tracks. And got to thank you guys. You guys were a blast to watch last year, and I'm excited for what's to come for the rest of the season.
Excellent, man. I appreciate that. And get rested up. Have a good rest of your night. And we'll catch you next week, man.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, guys.
You too. And that was number 28, Ryan Bean, the Lockheed Martin Toyota Camry. And short race. Just clocked in right at the 1 hour mark, hit or miss, 5 minutes or so. But good racing overall, though, guys.
Yeah, I was really surprised, obviously, with what happened at the beginning of that race. I mean, Ryan Bean talked about it, and so did the other guys too. A lot of drivers are frustrated. Jeremy, you have mentioned a great point. Heads up for iRacing for having such a just great coding that's built into the system to not detect a caution for that, because that very well, guys, had that have been happening on Sunday evening, NASCAR would have been like, that's it, put her out, it's over, yellow's out, boys, slow her down. It was really interesting to see that not be a yellow, just because typically you see a wreck like that, you don't really see many guys. And it's funny because that started from the middle of 3 and 4 and didn't end until they got about to the first part of the extension in the Legends Oval. Right down there, you see past the little strip of concrete on pit road. It didn't really stop until right about there. So it was a really good race. Looking forward to seeing, obviously, how Vegas is going to race. I know this week I'm definitely going to be doing some A, some B, probably some C fix stuff. So I can't wait to see how the track drives due to the recent oval refresh from one of their previous updates. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, 100% there. And Dustin, during one of the breaks that we had, you mentioned it was pretty spaced out and pretty chaotic on your end to keep up with the pack. How much did these guys make you work behind the scenes?
I don't know if it was as much they made me work as I hope there was some sarcasm in Jason's comment about the awesome caution coding, because I see it different. That definitely should have been a caution. Bar none should have been a caution. I mean, everybody was down. I mean, just a crap ton of speed on that one there and clogging the track up. They got spaced out there and trying to keep all the viewers keyed in on what's going on in all the different packs was, it's always a challenge to do that. But these guys, I tell you what, for the track being what it is, it's still kind of fresh-ish to a lot of guys, especially with this configuration and format. It was a good clean race. I mean, the accidents that we had there towards the tail end that sent it into overtime, I mean, that's to be expected. It's just good hard racing. So I will definitely say I am looking forward to getting away from the plate-esque tracks that this series has ran the last 2 weeks and get into the speedway, the 1.5-mile, into some other tracks that take some more finesse there and really let these boys show how well that they can shine.
Yeah, the next 3 weeks is Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Bristol. So we go from, the 1.5 mile, drop to a mile, drop to a half-mile. It's going to get more and more fun for sure. But that's going to be it for our broadcast here this evening. Thanks for all tuning in. I think we had like 16 or 17 live at one point. So I appreciate you. Follow us on Facebook and on YouTube to watch our broadcast every Tuesday and Sunday nights for the Nerd TV side of things. You guys, appreciate you very much. And we got a little short video here to close y'all out. Till then, stay safe. Get your nerd on.
This presentation is brought to you in part by
Martin Sports. Get the apparel, look stylish, be badass with apparel from Martin Sports. martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag. Must-have flag marshaling system for any aspiring sim racer. Get yours today at iracingiflag.com. Boomer button boxes. Total sim control at your fingertips. boomerbuttonboxes.com. If you race hard, then you need to rock hard.
And no station gets you harder than
iRock935.com. If you're a collector and that's your game, then Dusty Pete's, that's the name. DustyPete's.com. TWRS. Got the rig? Got the sim? Now get the speed with setups from TeamWatsonRacing.com.
truth